welcome to Tarmac. I'm Dave.
I'm Matthew, and this coupe behind us is the BMW 420i.
That's right, it's their new Grand Coupe that with this grille could be called a Coupe de Grille. Come, let's take a closer look. Grilly, grillster, grill master, grillier. If this was born, it was probably coming from Nash Grill. Okay, I've finally got that out of my way. Let's take a closer look and we'll give this new 420 a bit of a grilling. Sorry, just had to do that. Let's have a look around. Whichever way you look at it, BMW do Grand Coupes incredibly well. And I like this one. The new 420i really does bring out their best of them, really. Sure, it's got this big grille, which is very polarizing. Even Matthew and I tend to have a disagreement about it. Of course, I'm right. I really like it. It really does accentuate their kidney grille that's just been iconic forever. You know, it makes a statement, and that's not a bad thing. Up the rest of the front here, some LED headlights and DRLs that do these little cup things, which are really cool. This, I guess, should be an air curtain, and when you move up to something like the 440 or go into the M Sport side of things, you're going to get that as well. And this is the M line, M Sport line, so it does have plenty of extra trim. This black does contrast well with this very bright white, but overall really nice wide front and not a bad looker. Let's take a look down the side. At 4.6 meters long and only 1.4 meters tall, more or less, it really does have that bullet shape to it, and also that Grand Coupe long sloping roofline all the way down to the tail end. You've got to love it. Two-door, of course. Looking around, these nice big chunky 19-inch alloys that are dressed in black with the M badge. A little bit of M badging here. The wheel arches are just slightly extended, particularly around the rear here, and a lovely belt line round. Nice, really good. Let's have a look around the rear. Lovely boot, yes, a boot with a nice little lip to the spoiler on the back here. LED tail lights, which you would have seen at night, offer a nice little light display. Look at this, exhaust 1 and 2, and they actually work. Again, Matthew will be pleased about that. And a rear diffuser, lovely. In here, 440 litres of boot space. Enough for, I don't know, I'm pretty sure the BMW drivers play golf, so probably 2 golf bags or sticks or whatever they do. Let's take a look under the bonnet. Under here is BMW's 2-litre 4-pot twin-scroll turboed engine that gives you something that Matthew is proud about, only 135 kilowatts of power, and it also comes in at around about 5,000 RPM, so it's quite late in the spectrum there. Also 300 newton meters of torque that comes in around the 1300 mark, so lots of torque down low, lots of power up high. 0 to 100 is in 7.5 seconds, and efficiency wise 6.4 litres per 100 kilometers, so it's actually not bad on the efficiency stake. Speaking of the cat that got the cream, let's go inside and Matthew will show you all around in there.
While my cat, or my GTI, has got the cream in the instance of the speed, on the inside certainly the BMW beats it in you know, just the niceties and everything. I mean, look at the way the dashboard is sculpted. It's got a really nice design to it, lots of lines and creases, gives it a good sort of difference in texture. You've got this sort of polished metal feel and a bit of pattern there as well. Of course, the material on the top is soft to touch as well, and you've got some leather down the center here with, of course, the BMW M color stitching, part of the M Sport package on this car. Pop that open and you get space for your phone, or in this case a BMW Pocket Notebook. You also get space for your key in there, or cup holders, and of course all this sort of stuff is pretty standard across BMW's range. But this 4 Series or 420i does come with some good storage spaces, like the one under the armrest here. Even in the doors there's plenty of space for a big water bottle and anything else you could frankly slot in there. Even the glove box, it's a good size. Remember, this is a sports touring car, and generally people who go touring have a lot of stuff with them. I don't know what stuff, but stuff. Another big talking point with the M package is these M Sport seats. They have some nice chunky bolsters on the side and finished in a really nice leather with that contrast M Sport stitching, or the blue colors, that have become so synonymous with BMW's M brand over the years. Apart from that, the car's just got a generally sporty feel about it, but that's not to say it isn't practical either, because it's got a BMW's infotainment screen, and let's take a look in there. This system is BMW's familiar face of the iDrive system, and when you use it, it feels very familiar, and of course it's shared across many cars in the BMW range. You have the Hey BMW feature that assists you with the ambient lighting, the air conditioning, the radio station, all that sort of stuff. It's trying to get through over there, but I won't let it. You also get gesture control for the volume.
What can I help you with?
Cancel.
Sorry, I didn't quite hear that.
Cancel.
Okay.
You also get gesture control, which helps you with the volume, the radio stations, and your general music as well. And this home screen layout is actually pretty cool, because you've got the navigation over there, you've got your radio station, your connected device. Speaking of which, it also has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And then you swipe to the next screen, and it has the live traffic of the area you're in, it has the trip, it has the compass, and then it has this, the weather and the news. Because of course BMW drivers love to read the news. They're also pretty partial to a good old bar graph or some kind of chart like that. But anyway, speaking of charts and graphs, let's take a look at the digital dashboard. Up in front of you, you have again BMW's familiar digital dashboard system. This is currently in the most sporty setup, so it has a little bit of red outlines along the dials there, and it shows you a chart for the amount of torque you're using and the amount of horsepower you're using. It's pretty cool to look at. And even though it's in sports and it's a sporty coupe, that fuel gauge over there has barely moved in the distance that we've been driving, and it's quite a testament to the efficiency of that 2-liter twin-power turbo engine. And while the efficiency, I guess, is very much unlike an M car, what's characteristic of one of those is this steering wheel. It's big, chunky, it's got nice thumb grips there, the M badge at the bottom, and it's covered in a really nice feeling leather. It's really good to hold, especially in the corners. Now, for your entertainment, I will jump in the back of the car there and show you how much space there is. While it may not look like you have much space to get into in the back here, the big difference is that these wide opening doors, just look at that, make it so much easier to get into. The motor does take ages to move the seat forward, but once it's there, you can get into the back easily. And done. As you can see, there's quite a lot of space in the back here, even for someone like me. There's plenty of headroom, footroom's quite good too, and knee room is pretty decent because the seats in front of you have a nice cutout to fit the passenger's knees in place. So a bit of thoughtful thinking there from BMW. You can only seat 2 at the back here, but you can do so in comfort because you get a central armrest, which also turns into a ski hatch. There you go. So you're not actually limited to skis, it's just called a ski hatch, but you can put your golf bats through there as well if you are a typical BMW driver. Anyway, speaking of a BMW driver, Dave's behind the camera, so let's get him behind the wheel and take it for a drive.
So like I said on the outset, BMWs do coupes really well. I mean, the 6 Series is just phenomenal, and this 4 Series, it's just bite-sized but perfect, really is good for that long distance travel and also gives you that sporty appeal. Sure, there's that big grille and we need to address that, but the reality is they're sticking with it. We should stick with it. The M3's got it, the 3 Series got it, everything's going to have it, so just deal with it, alright? It's alright?
I mean, as you probably know already, or Dave has shown you sort of subtly that I'm not a big fan of this new BMW grille. But then I guess I'm not the CEO of the BMW or the head of the design department, so I'm pretty sure they know better than me. So okay, I'll stick with it. And you've got to say then, from that perspective, that they've taken the kidney grille and they've basically owned it. They have all those years of heritage, everything. BMW are really proud of, you know, who they are, what they stand for, and that kidney grille, the bigger kidney grille, represents that.
I agree. But let's move on from there. This vehicle itself, look, the 4 Series, like I said, as a Grand Coupe, is just tremendous. It's got the sort of, actually, you'd normally call it a 2+2, but there is actually plenty of room back there. So from a seating point of view, driver gets plenty of space, plenty of BMW-ness. The lovely big thick steering wheel to grip hold of, and the passengers, they get their own areas. The back, sure, there's a little bit of claustrophobia back there because the rear windows are not massive, but realistically there's actually, you know, you're not going to crush people's legs on the way through.
I mean, even though this is a 2-door, you know, coupe, it's BMW have been very practical about it. So not just the storage spaces, but also you can realistically sit 2 adults comfortably at the back there. You know, you can drop the seats down and put a good amount of stuff in the boot. You can fold down the ski hatch. You know, it's actually really well thought out. Power wise,
I'm not so sure the 2-litre is the one to go for. It is slightly lazy, I guess, in BMW terms. That's not to say it's lazy. It's just lazier than your car, which is right nowadays is quite astounding. It's 7.5 seconds is not horrendous, but I don't know. This is more of a lover than a fighter, I guess.
No, that's true. It's sort of, I guess it's quick in many ways, but it's quick by frankly any car standards. But it's not, you know, sports car quick, which is, I guess, where BMW want to tempt you into getting the higher spec models. But still, this 2-litre twin-scroll turbo has plenty of punch, and you know, it'll take you to illegal speeds, frankly, very easily, and in comfort as well.
Agreed. Obviously, you got your sports, your comfort, your adaptive that will just work out what your mood is and adjust itself accordingly. The tech involved is magnificent. The big screens up front on the digital display, and also obviously for the infotainment is cool. Obviously with this is lacking the Harman Kardon stereo sound, but that's okay. That's all right. It's a powerful enough stereo. The tech, as far as all the car manufacturers seem to be going for their own little quirks. What I really like about the BMW one, aside from its "Hey BMW,"
What can I help you with?
is the fact that once you drive into somewhere, you can, when you reverse, it gives you this helping hand to reverse back on exactly the same course you've gone in on. So if you are going in somewhere tight, you can reverse out without even worrying about it, about around 50 odd meters, which is pretty good.
I mean, all those qualities, the BMW ingenuity kind of shines through on this car, and inherently it is still very much a BMW, so the build quality in here is to a really good standard, and frankly the road that we're on right now is not the smoothest, but you can barely hear the road noise coming through, even though this car is sitting on fairly low profile 19-inch wheels.
Yeah, which is, I actually agree. The and also the suspension is BMW suspension is just, you know, great. You can have some fun in the corners and also relax on the straights, so best of both worlds, really.
Yeah, I guess the temptation with these cars is to stiffen it up too much, but no, it's floaty enough, you know, to be comfortable, and then sporty enough when you need it to be, and sort of the perfect balance, really. And I guess that sums up this 420i pretty well.
Yeah, summing it up perfectly would be about that. It is a great cruiser and really, I don't know, nice to drive. I fancy going on a long run with this, to be honest.
Maybe not with me as his passenger, but otherwise in terms of balance, you know, the passenger's got a lot to play with. There's a lot of materials breaking up the, I guess, traditional monotony of black in front of you, and the center console isn't actually tilted too far towards the driver, so if you're a nosy enough passenger, you can poke and paw around there and change the music and stuff like that. It gives you that option.
So there you have it, the BMW 420i, a great Grand Tourer, and you know, love that grille regardless of what he says.
It's got a lot to live up to with its older siblings, the 6 Series and the 8 Series being very good coupes, and certainly this baby 4 Series, it's a good car, alright.
Yep. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. It will be somewhere around here. There should be some arrows. I think next we're going to have the Stinger, but you never know what order's going to come up, so just join us next time.
See ya.